Easter is an annual celebration amongst Christians globally. It commemorates the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which is the foundation of the Christian faith. The celebration also marks the end of 40 days fasting by Christian faithful. As Christians await this year's Easter celebration, what are the significance of Easter? Why do we celebrate Easter, and how relevant is the 40 days fasting before the Easter celebration? These and more will form our focus today on Panorama, coming to you from NTA Lagos Network Center. But first, the news making the rounds. I am Ademola Adeoye. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Investigation into the $17 billion stolen from undeclared crude oil and liquefied natural gas has commenced in earnest by the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee. Correspondent Kenneth Nani reports.
The House Ad Hoc Committee has the mandate to investigate the financial losses put at $17 billion in the oil and gas sector from January 2011 to December 2014. Relevant authorities had reported alleged sharp practices and financial impropriety in the sector by government agencies and some international oil companies operating in the country. NNPC, EFCC, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Central Bank of Nigeria, DPR, and some other relevant stakeholders are expected to appear at the public hearing. In a message, the committee, Speaker Yakubu Dogara, represented by the Minority Whip, regretted the financial leakages in the sector, which is responsible for the present economic recession, and expressed the resolve of the National Assembly in the fight against corruption and sustenance of good governance. The Ad Hoc Committee Chairman Abdulrazak Namdas decried the non-appearance of major players in the industry at the investigative hearing and stood it down for Tuesday, the 11th of April 2017.
This government is fighting corruption. It's a very serious business. And in the legislative arm, we have promised as part of our 8th legislative agenda to actually support this government to fight corruption. And we accept government agencies should also complement the government by doing the needful.
Meanwhile, the House Ad Hoc Committee investigating cash paid to government officials annually by insurance companies mandated to insure government fixed and non-fixed assets by way of return on premium says it has established various infractions by some of the insurance companies involved in the contracts between 2013 and 2015.
We've established clearly that some persons and businesses, maybe they never thought a deal like this would come when somebody who has questions just didn't do things right. And that's what this other committee's mandate is very clearly to establish.
The Ad Hoc Committee maintained it will trace all financial movements in all transactions involving the insurance companies. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Nigeria's Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has again stressed the need for Nigerian youths to harness their God-given potential and talents as a means of tackling unemployment. The Vice President stated this in Ibadan at a service that coincides with this year's Palm Sunday. Olumide Oguntola reports.
That depicts the mood as Christians, including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, will converge on the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Jesus Embassy, to appreciate God's goodness for witnessing another Sabbath day that coincides with the commemoration of 2017 Palm Sunday. Pastor Jide Ojurumbe affirmed that being in Christ is the solution to all challenges and trials of life.
So when Jesus resurrected, he showed us that Satan has been defeated. Whatever the enemy is trying to do in your life, not for one sure, he is already defeated.
In his remarks, after the launch of a gospel musical album, The Ambience by Ifeoluwa Odogiyan, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo encouraged Nigerian youths to be hardworking while harnessing their potentials.
Anyone can have gifts, but without hard work, talent is just irrelevant. so happy that he has continually demonstrated that by hard work, by resourcefulness, you can actually achieve all manner of great things. And that's one of the reasons why I felt the need to be here today to celebrate with him.
Other highlights at the service include special thanksgiving and prayers for the peaceful coexistence of the country. In Ibadan, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force is to set up deployment of assets to curb incidences of insecurity in Benue State. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar said this during a discussion with Governor Samuel Otham of Benue State. Achigili Magaji reports.
Despite efforts by security agents in the state towards combating the situation, the crisis has raged on, leading to loss of many lives and other valuables. The present move by the Nigerian Air Force is to reinforce the existing efforts in ensuring lasting solution.
As supporting the Air Force, someone said that the loss of excess airplanes, we are looking at flashpoints where there are crises, and Benue is one of the areas that we are thinking of sending down some of our air assets.
The Air Chief called on the governor to facilitate the resolution of the land issue between the Air Force base and its host community in Makurdi. Governor Samuel Otom expressed gratitude to the military for its efforts in stemming the tide of the crisis and pledged collaboration to end the growing trend of insecurity in Benue State. The logistics include the deployment of aerial patrol aircraft and more personnel. In a related development, the governor also inspected a display of catch of arms seized from gang of criminals by the personnel of 72 Special Forces Battalion of the Nigerian Army in Makurdi. They have been handed over to the police. In Makurdi, Achigili Magaji, NTA.
Commuters plying Lagos-Apapa Wharf Road have been advised to comply with traffic rules and cooperate with law enforcement agents along the route pending the completion of the ongoing rehabilitation work on the bridge. The Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, Godwin Eke, gave the advice while giving a brief on the progress made so far on the project. Rotimi Oluwagbemi reports.
Motorists plan Lagos-Apapa route woke up to a terrible traffic jam along the bridge due to the closure of the Apapa bridge, which is currently undergoing rehabilitation. Some of the commuters bear their minds on the project.
Let them put it in order. As they are doing the road is good. Let them hasten it up. They do not enlighten people that they're going to fix the bridge and the bridge will be closed.
In a swift reaction, the Federal Controller of Works, Federal Ministry of Works, Lagos State, Godwin Eke, said the rehabilitation work is long overdue since the bridge was gutted by fire 10 years ago. He said there was also public enlightenment campaigns to create awareness on the closure of the bridge.
So they cannot say we didn't have enough publicity. We made enough publicity and they are aware. That's why anytime you go on that road, you see police and everybody on the road. What is really causing the traffic is those truck drivers on the alternative routes provided. They will go there and park. Without them parking along that route, we will have free flow of traffic.
Meanwhile, some road users were seen breaking traffic rules to beat the gridlock resulting from the closure. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has resumed full enforcement on articulated vehicles whose containers are not properly lashed. The Zonal Commanding Officer, FRSC Zone 2 Command Headquarters, Lagos, Assistant Corps Marshal Shehu Zaki, carried out the exercise in Lagos. Ken Egbeluhe reports.
Recent incidences of trailers falling off the road has led to loss of lives and property. This has become a source of concern to Nigerians and the Federal Road Safety Corps. In 2015, the Corps started the enforcement, resulting to over 3,000 trailers impounded. But recently, the Corps said it discovered non-compliance among trailer drivers. The latest enforcement, therefore, is to prevent the trailers and flatbed containers from falling unnecessarily.
We owe Nigerians a responsibility to stop this, and that is the more reason why we are out today, to make sure that all those trucks that are carrying containers and are not latched are stopped and are punished according to the laws of the land.
Mobile courts are also on ground to try defaulting drivers.
We have magistrates in place for quick dispensation of justice, for us not just to arrest vehicles, keep them for hours, for the magistrate to try them and allow them to continue with their trips. More than 10 vehicles have so far been arrested, and this is just the beginning, and we are going to continue for some days now.
The FRSC says its personnel will be fully on ground to ensure that motorists comply with minimum safety standards during the Easter holiday. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
Okay, we told you earlier that we are talking on the significance of Easter, and I have with me in the studio to discuss more on this is Bishop Kayode Williams. You're welcome once again to
Nice meeting you.
Panorama. Now, we're talking about the significance of Easter.
Right.
What exactly is Easter?
Yeah, Easter is the mystery of the cross. From the first message about Christ coming to the world, God talked about how he's going to deliver his people. The redemption. He said, for he shall bring forth a son. His name shall be called Jesus. For he shall deliver his people from their sin. So God has been working out a plan, a process of redemption. And how to now complete the assignment is what brought in Easter. There are so many festivities in the Christendom, but Easter is very, very unique and different.
That is the redemptive work of God.
The full redemptive work of God.
Now, is it compulsory then that, how necessary is it for one to celebrate, Easter? Is there a must?
Naturally, as a Christian, it is a sign of accepting what God has done for humanity. And if you accept that Jesus delivered his people according to his promise, then you to celebrate. But it's not something that they will have to put it on you by force. It should be voluntary. You must recognize something that must be from the inner mind, because it is a complete work and process of salvation.
Now, before we come to how people should celebrate, because there are different kinds of celebration now.
Exactly.
You see people bringing out tents, a lot of people rolling out the drums, and some, another way, celebrating one way or the other. But we'll come to that later. But let's look at the benefits of Easter itself. What are the benefits?
When we talk of benefit of Easter, it's very ambiguous. It's very big. It cannot be limited to one particular area. There are so many benefits. But number one, the core one, I will deliver my people from their sin. Because sin is the problem of God. He doesn't want any of his creator to commit sin. And since they have fallen in the Garden of Eden, because we have to trace the genesis of sin, the Adamic nature of sin continue to move from generation to generation. God now says, okay, the only solution is to bring forth how this sin can come out of the life of the people. You don't teach people to commit sin. They inherited it. And God said, okay, I know what to do. And that was why. But most of the benefits, the number one is forgiveness of sin.
Forgiveness.
Others is to live a Christ life. Third, to show you that you have a creator who still remember you. That even when you are a sinner, he still remember you. So many areas have benefits which I may not be able to number all.
Okay.
They are very numerous.
Okay, there are numerous benefits, which are also the lessons.
The lessons.
Because when you mention the benefits, there are also the lessons of Easter.
Easter.
Okay. Now, we earlier on you were talking about, well, it can be celebrated. So how do you think Easter should be celebrated? Is it by rolling out the drums? Or in what way should the Easter be celebrated?
Easter is to be celebrated in a moderate understanding of I am a saved person. It's not going about making noise, going to beer parlors, celebrating, we are going this, we are doing that. No, it is number one. The first celebration must be your inner self.
Sober reflection.
Exactly. If somebody should die for you, the death of Christ on the cross is painful. So are we going to be beating drum because he died? No. So you have to first of all say, why? Why me? Why should this man die for my sin? That is number one. So the celebration should be a celebration of understanding the deeper meaning of the death of Christ on the cross.
Understanding salvation.
Salvation. And that will now lead you to the redemption, that this man used his blood to redeem me. Then you now see how he uses all those lifestyle of ease to remold character. You celebrate him by showing a new life. I am here with you today. I can stand and publicly say I receive one of the benefits of salvation, or of the cross, which is the salvation of my soul. I was in the world, deep into the worldly things, even into going to the underground world. I became a hardened, dangerous criminal. And all along, I was thinking it's part of life.
It's the way of life.
It's the way of life. Looking for ladies, going to hotels, going to rob people. But when the time of redemption came, and I acknowledge him as my Savior and Redeemer, I released myself by his grace from the sinful world. I became a new person. He remodeled me. He transformed my life. I became a saint, even a saint on quotes. Because saint means somebody who has come out of his sins. And the Bible says very clearly.
So you become a new person in
Christ.
A
new person,
Jesus.
born again.
Now, let's look at the issue of this 40-day fast, 40 days, Christian fast for 40 days. And how significant is this 40 days fast?
It's very important. It's very, very important. There are so many touches to that area. It is also very doctrinal. It's controversial. But to be honest, our Lord Jesus Christ, fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. So as Christians, we want to live like him. So it's something that I will only say it is very important, but it depends on your choice.
So it's more of a personal thing.
It is personal.
It is personal.
Very, very
so
personal.
we should not make it like doctrinal.
Yes.
So if you can go 40 days, go.
If you can't, you just continue to admit him in your heart and show the world that you are. Yes.
Live righteously. Thank you so much,
You're
Bishop
welcome.
Kayode Williams, for coming on Panorama. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now we move on to other stories. The Minister of Communications, Adebayo Shitu, says the federal government is committed to facilitating the passage of the Postal Reform Bill with a view to repositioning the Nigerian Postal Service for effective service delivery and revenue generation. The minister stated this in Lagos at a 3-day international conference on repositioning express mail service for growth in Africa. Musa Toliat has the detail.
Minister of Communications Adebayo Shitu, who decried the poor state of the postal sector in sub-Saharan Africa, said the continent is caught in a vicious cycle of low financial performance and lack of investments as a result of low patronage in the sector. He said, although the challenges militating against express mail service is universal, there is need for participants at the international conference to tap into the wealth of experience of other countries to build public confidence, create possibilities, and come up with practical solutions.
we must take within the shortest possible time frame serious and effective remedial and long-lasting measures to improve the postal system.
This assemblage of tested and well-groomed professionals will do the needful to come up with templates that will usher in new operational strategies that will transform the business of Korea.
Secretary General of the Pan-African Postal Union, Yunus Jibrin, urged participants to deliberate on developing effective addressing and postal code system capable of enhancing home delivery and promoting e-commerce in Africa.
The project will assist in dealing with challenges of lack of modern technology.
More than 22 countries are participating in a 4-day international conference expected to come up with Africa Regional Action Plan on EMS. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Operators of Bureau de Change in the country say they will continue to work with the Central Bank of Nigeria to sanitize the nation's foreign exchange market. Amechi Powers reports that they gave this indication at a forum in Lagos with a resolve to improving exchange rates of the naira to the dollar.
In the last 3 weeks, the Central Bank of Nigeria has made remarkable efforts at sanitizing the forex market and stabilize the naira. The Apex Bank has continued to inject forex into the system through the banks and Bureau de Change. The focus of this meeting, therefore, by operators of Bureau de Change is to examine the various infractions at the market, especially round tripping and holding of forex, all of which have continued to affect the value of the local currency.
We are ready to ensure that the market is liquid. We are sure to enhance the liquidity in the market. We are sure to advise compliance and on regulatory requirements.
While acknowledging efforts by the Apex Bank to address these challenges, President of the Association, Aminu Gwadabe, urged members to comply strictly with the CBN Know Your Customer policy. Members in their submissions agree that there are bad eggs in the association but want the Central Bank of Nigeria to also critically scrutinize activities of commercial banks in the forex market.
A spread of 2 naira for BDCs cannot cover the cost of BDCs. So I think we need to be realistic about that. The so-called parallel market, and these are the major problem in the market. They get supply from the banks, from individuals who come into the country, from BDCs, from all sorts.
However, the Central Bank of Nigeria at different fora had urged Nigerians to report any bank or bureau de change that refuses to sell dollar to legitimate customers. In Lagos, Amechi Powers, NTA News.
And for sports updates, let's join Dende Sunny for details.
Live in Wanawasa Stadium, Ndola will host the return leg of CAF Confederation Cup playoff between Enugu Rangers and Zesco United of Zambia on Sunday. Zesco United scored 2 crucial away goals in the first leg on Sunday at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, Enugu, ending the tie at 2-2. Meanwhile, Coach Ibmama Makwakabu of Enugu Rangers has been asked to step aside as head coach as the team look forward to redeem their image and qualify for the group stage of the continental competition. The UEFA Champions League resumes on Tuesday with the quarter-final first leg matches. Italian giants and former champions Juventus will host another former champions Barcelona in Turin, while French League on table toppers Monaco will travel to Germany for a clash against Borussia Dortmund. Spain's Sergio Garcia ended his long wait for a first major title with a thrilling playoff win over England's Justin Rose at the US Masters played at the Augusta National Golf Club. Both players finished on 9 under par after 72 holes, setting up a sudden that playoff on the 18th.
It's been an amazing week and I'm going to enjoy it for the rest of my life.
Garcia hold a better put for victory after his European Ryder Cup teammate could only manage a bogey. With sport updates, Dende Sunny, NTA News.
That's our package on Panorama, which came to you from Lagos Network Center. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.